Coming up on Cronkite Sports Report, tracking the future of the horse racing industry in Arizona that's on the verge of collapse. The sport of polo, however, is growing rapidly. We take a look at the first indoor polo arena in Arizona that's trying to open the gates of this exclusive game to more people. Plus, he's the son of a hockey legend, but the name on the back of his jersey also carries a heavy burden.
There's always the pressures that come along with it. Being Shane's son is something that you'll always hear, and it doesn't go away. And the easiest part of the whole thing is what he's done to make it easy on all of us as his kids, is just that to be ourselves.
And later, a basketball league making a huge impact in the Latino community. Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Jacob Luthi. Thank you for joining us. We start here in Arizona. The horse racing industry was rocked recently when Turf Paradise owner Jerry Sims announced his retirement and decision to sell the track. With racing halted, some have had to search for work elsewhere. But a large group remains hopeful that the days of racing at Turf Paradise are not long gone. A nameless, recently purchased thoroughbred filly sits at Campo Verde Farms, waiting for what it was bred to do: run.
Dad bought this one without me knowing. So I walked away to go look at another horse, and I came back and he goes, "Look what I bought! I bought a horse!"
Like many horse owners and trainers in Arizona, Stacy Campo is waiting for word as to when or even if racing at Turf Paradise will continue. A mainstay of Arizona thoroughbred racing since 1956, Turf Paradise is home to one of the longest racing meets in the country, where Arizona residents and many travelers flock to the site to make their living. Pending a sale, racing at the track, which typically begins in November, has been stalled. And with months of back and forth, confusion as to the future of racing at Turf Paradise has left many in the community on edge.
Besides frightening, scary, the uncertainty, the fear of something collapsing in front of us is on our minds every single day, especially when we get up in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning to feed the horses in our backyard, wondering, when are we going to race?
100 of it, 1,015 on the golden ring here.
A side effect of this all? A mini economy being thrown into a turbulent situation without a saddle.
These people have to make a living. They have to pay the bills. They have to pay rent or a mortgage and put gas in their car. And what we've seen is we're losing people because they have to go find another avenue for employment to put food on the table. And so when we're playing these back and forth games of not knowing, it's a huge struggle.
And while Campo might be fortunate to have a place to keep her horses in the meantime, others are not. But even so, the price of not racing is getting costly for even some of the state's most tenured owners and trainers.
Manure removal is expensive just to have employees. And then you have the feed and the grain. I buy a semi-load of hay and I'll put, $5,000 in it. Every couple months I'll buy another semi. We need racing to go so I could pay for this.
Despite the fluid situation that is Turf Paradise and the effects that it's had on the local horse racing community here in Arizona, business is as usual here at Campo Verde Farms, where Stacy and her father are trying their best to keep these horses race ready so that when the call comes, they can be a part of helping keep one of Arizona's oldest sports alive.
We don't leave the state because we're still aiming to run here. So I basically been out of work since May, taking care of actual racehorses in my backyard. There's lots of farms here. We're ready to go. We just need to open.
And despite growing fears, cautiously looking at the bright side of things is a staple in this community.
I want to be optimistic about it. I really want to be really optimistic about the state of racing in Arizona. Turf Paradise, it had a really nice long run, and it'll probably continue having a nice run, but they just got to get things aligned up to be productive. And the right people come in, good things will happen.
Hi.
For now, Campo will try and find a suitable name for her new filly and keep hope alive for a sport that has also given her an identity.
It's everything to some of us, and it's everything to me.
While discussions at recent Arizona Racing Commission meetings have expressed optimism for racing to begin in late winter, the horsemen and women of Arizona are still awaiting a specific date. And while one equestrian sport remains in flux in Arizona, another one is just taking off. The Scottsdale Polo Academy started Arizona's first indoor arena polo league. Cronkite sports reporter Danny Stepanovich has more on how the academy is trying to grow an exclusive sport in the community.
The sport of kings. A hobby that the average Joe can't afford. But twice a week in a dimly lit arena in Scottsdale, a handful of riders are taking advantage of affordable horse polo lessons.
It's not easy to find a place that has actually polo, and it's not easy to find a place that is actually willing to teach you how to play polo, you know? So I'd like to tell people to make the first step, you know, to not be afraid to come, to join, because they're gonna find an amazing world.
A game based on military strategy that requires riders to anticipate on offense, block on defense, and follow the captain's orders, all while controlling a 1,000-pound moving horse.
Polo is a very complex sport. Not many people know about this. Our main focus has been trying to introduce it to different people, especially here in Arizona, you know, that we have a great horse culture, but no polo culture.
The Scottsdale Polo Club understands that to keep horses on the pitch, they need to keep riders in their saddles. To encourage community members to try an expensive sport, students are provided with a horse, equipment, mallet, and saddles.
You couldn't pick a better place to start than here, because if you come and you play, Martin is really good about making sure that he finds you the right level of horse for your, for where you are. I know a lot of people who started polo with absolutely no riding experience.
Beginning lessons start with some of the basics. Martin teaches you how to get comfortable, learn the fundamentals of the game, the strategy behind the game, and the different types of swings.
Once beginners get comfortable competing in a small controlled area, they can graduate to the outdoor fields in Casa Grande.
Once you play, once you hit that ball for the first time, you make contact, you feel one with the horse, kind of like that feeling, everything that is in your head, goes away.
Half of the sport is strategy, but the most important part is the bond between the horse and the rider.
Horsemanship is how you can properly relate to the horse. How is your understanding of the animal, not only as, let's say, an element or a tool, understanding that it's not a machine, it's not like a motorcycle, it's an animal, that feels.
On a good night when it all clicks, the rider and horse compete together in a sport made not just for kings, but for anyone not scared of a little dirt, a little speed, and a burst of adrenaline.
Vamos, vamos, vamos.
In Scottsdale, Danny Stepanovich, Cronkite News.
Right now, there are only 2 places in Arizona where people can enjoy horse polo, either at Sandsburg Ranch in Scottsdale or in Casa Grande. But the growing sport is sure to expand to other areas. Coming up on Cronkite Sports Report.
A little bit of scrambled going this morning. This is a low-calorie bacon here.
It's just easy going. Everybody out here is just here to have fun and relax, and there's no drama. You just come out here, have a good time, relax. Let's watch the races.
The camping culture NASCAR fans have carved out at Phoenix Raceway. Plus, he has a household name in the sport of hockey. But this rising star is blazing his own path, how the son of an Arizona Hall of Famer is skating his way up the ranks.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
And entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Here at the Walter Cronkite School, students produce award-winning content that focuses on health disparities in underserved communities and how to turn things around. In Cronkite News and Cronkite Noticias, students cover stories that affect people of color, the LGBTQ+ community, people with disabilities, and others across the Southwest.
We highlight big problems that are often overlooked in communities that are underserved.
Those stories not only inform and educate people about the challenges, but we work hard to highlight potential solutions. In the Cronkite Agency, students work to connect with community members through social media campaigns in English and Spanish.
Being a Hispanic myself, it's nice to be able to give back to my own community.
Find more of our health coverage at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Here at the TV Production and Graphics Lab, we are behind the scenes making the news happen. Gain experience in the control room directing, teledirecting, and rolling the audio of every Cronkite News show. Run the floor and work in a professional environment, honing your skills for the future. Create graphics that will be seen by the local community on Arizona PBS. Be a part of the bloodline that makes the Cronkite News shows possible.
Welcome to the State Press, ASU's student-run news organization that covers everything ASU. As one of the longest-standing student-run newsrooms in the country, the State Press offers a glimpse into a real newsroom environment. The State Press has been cited by organizations such as CNN, The Washington Post, MSNBC, and many more. Students gain valuable experience in reporting, editing, photography, and even podcasting. The State Press is home to some of ASU's hardest-working and most dedicated students, so feel free to join.
Welcome back to Cronkite Sports Report. When he was just 6 years old, Josh Doan begged his NHL-playing father to let him tag along to his 6 a.m. training sessions. Little did Coyotes great Shane Doan know then that his son would parlay that same work ethic into his own hockey career. Cronkite Sports reporter Matt Venezia caught up with Josh right after he signed his first pro contract.
There's always the pressures that come along with it. Being Shane's son is something that you'll always hear. And
playing hockey when you're the son of an Arizona legend is one thing, but playing for the same organization is another.
The easiest part of the whole thing is what he's done to make it easy on all of us as his kids, is just that to be ourselves. And if we want to do this, just have fun doing it. Don't worry about what everyone wants to say about it.
Josh Doan is blocking out all of the noise as he starts his young career on the ice, doing his best to ignore the obvious comparisons to his father, Coyotes great Shane Doan. The younger signed with the Tucson Roadrunners in early 2023, just a step away from the National Hockey League, with a chance to suit up for the team his dad played for 2 decades.
I was pumped for him. I mean, all the guys were asking me about him here, and I had nothing but great things to say. And when I found out he was going to sign, I was really happy, and knew he was going to do big things for us this year.
Josh's journey started in the summer of 2019 when he chose to play close to home for Greg Powers in the up-and-coming Arizona State University men's hockey team. A big get for Powers and his newly recognized Division I program.
He's just a great human being. He's an unbelievable teammate, great leader. You wanted it to keep home, and we're thrilled that he did stay home.
Doan played for the Sun Devils for 2 seasons, finishing as a finalist for Freshman of the Year in 2021 and earning team captain honors from the coaching staff the following year. The program's first year in Mullet Arena, a project that took years in the making, and it only made sense that Josh, the Scottsdale native, would ring in this new era.
It felt like we were jumping into the deep end and not really knowing what we were getting into, but Josh calmed the waters in a major way.
Silly made that pass.
Nice feed over the middle, Doan's in, and a save by Geilander. He cleans it up and scores.
I thought I had him, but it came back out to me, and I got another chance at it.
Poetic justice that he did score the first goal.
It's something I'll remember forever.
Doan will go down as one of the greatest players in ASU hockey history. But 18 miles north of Mullet Arena here in Scottsdale, you find the ice den. This is where Josh learned to play the game just a few miles from his home. He would also watch his dad practice on this same ice sheet. Josh also participated in the program's Learn to Skate. But with all that said, he's just trying to lace up in his own skates.
It's separate paths. He played major junior. He's from Canada, and I went to college out and played in Arizona. So at the end of the day, we have the same last name, but different stories leading up to this point.
Entering his first full season in professional hockey in Tucson, Doan is officially on the clock and is now skating to bolster his resume before making it to the National Hockey League. An old friend of his thinks that day is near.
I would be shocked if he's not playing in this building again, but as a Coyote very soon.
In Tucson, Matt Venezia, Cronkite News.
Switching gears now, or should I say shifting gears to car racing. NASCAR fans always make the most of race day at Phoenix Raceway. And for NASCAR Cup Championship weekend, fans turned a dirt parking lot into a mini RV city. Cronkite sports reporter Jeff Hinkle captured the camping culture as fans described it in their own words.
We came in on Monday
morning, yeah.
We've been here since Tuesday morning.
Wednesday night.
And there was like no one here, so day by day, fills in.
It's incredible how many people are here. There's over 5,700 camping spots in this area. It becomes a small town. It literally does. We have our own grocery store. We have our own dust control. We have our own, our own trash collection. Some of the folks that camp around us have been here for 10, 12 years. Some of them longer. I call it the Oklahoma land grab because we used to park stage out in the staging lanes. And then literally at 8 o'clock on Monday morning, the flags went down. The green flag went down. And people are ripping up the road.
This is our third year. My third year, I got invited with a friend, and I just camped with him. And I came here one time. It's like, okay, this is what we got to do from now on.
I want to see those hands up.
We raised our kids out here. Wayne and I would take the kids out of school and bring them up here for our week's worth of vacation.
My son, when he was 12 years old, he said, I can't believe that this is real. Can you pinch me?
It's just cool. Everybody out here is everybody thinks it's just a bunch of rednecks out here. No, everybody's just like you, just like me, just business people, just a little having fun. Yeah. You can walk up to any campsite out here and walk in and say, hey, they'll welcome you in, they'll offer you drinks, food. It's like we do. Come on over, play some cornhole, have some drinks. Absolutely. We may forget your name in 5 minutes, but we're now all best friends.
A little bit of scrambled going this morning. This is a low-calorie bacon here.
It's just easy going. Everybody out here is just here to have fun and relax, and there's no drama. You just come out here, have a good time, relax. Let's watch the races.
The access to the drivers is not like no other sport. You can't have that same amount of access in football or baseball. The opportunity that we get as fans to literally be a 5-foot wall away, or not even that, a 5-foot chain link fence away from the drivers, the teams, the sport is incredible.
Coming up on Cronkite Sports Report, a basketball league that goes far beyond the hardwood. How one man's vision is making a huge impact on the Latino community, one basketball game at a time.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
This is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news,
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Here at the Walter Cronkite School, students produce award-winning content that focuses on health disparities in underserved communities and how to turn things around. In Cronkite News and Cronkite Noticias, students cover stories that affect people of color, the LGBTQ+ community, people with disabilities, and others across the Southwest.
We highlight big problems that are often overlooked in communities that are underserved.
Those stories not only inform and educate people about the challenges, but we work hard to highlight potential solutions. In the Cronkite Agency, students work to connect with community members through social media campaigns in English and Spanish.
Being a Hispanic myself, it's nice to be able to give back to my own community.
Find more of our health coverage at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Here at the TV Production and Graphics Lab, we are behind the scenes making the news happen. Gain experience in the control room directing, teledirecting, and rolling the audio of every Cronkite News show. Run the floor and work in a professional environment, honing your skills for the future. Create graphics that will be seen by the local community on Arizona PBS. Be a part of the bloodline that makes the Cronkite News shows possible.
Welcome to the State Press, ASU's student-run news organization that covers everything ASU. As one of the longest-standing student-run newsrooms in the country, the State Press offers a glimpse into a real newsroom environment. The State Press has been cited by organizations such as CNN, The Washington Post, MSNBC, and many more. Students gain valuable experience in reporting, editing, photography, and even podcasting. The State Press is home to some of ASU's hardest working and most dedicated students, so feel free to join.
Welcome back to Cronkite Sports Report. The Chicano Basketball League has become one of the most active Latino-centric leagues in the United States. While its focus is basketball, its mission, as Adrian Carbajal reports, is saving lives.
Joe Leon started the Chicano Basketball League over 27 years ago. His goal at the time was to help more Latino basketball players achieve their goals of playing Division I ball. Almost 3 decades later, that sentiment is still the same, but little did he know how many lives he would change in the process.
We forget that somebody might feel like us at our lowest, and who's gonna be there to pick them up? The reason why I do help is because I don't want nobody else to struggle. And if I see some potential in a human being, then why not bring it out?
When you ask people about Joe, they always admire his willingness to help. No matter who it is or how much help they need, he's always of service and has even been able to pave the way for other leagues like his to come after.
To be honest, my program was built based off his blueprint. Everything that I saw him do, how he did things, he always helped me out, he always lended me a hand. You know, we come from low-income communities, so Joe always will take care of my kids. To be honest, I wouldn't be here without Joe.
Off of the court, Joe has continued to impact people's lives. But since the inception of the Chicano Basketball League, it has always been about uplifting his own community. And not only has he done a great job of that, he's also quite literally saved lives.
To be honest, the off-the-court stuff is what Joe Leon and Tierra del Sol is all about.
Alex Gonzalez is a former player of Joe's who started playing when he was 16 years old. Now, 20 years later, he reflects on all of the good that Joe and the Chicano Basketball League have done for him.
You know, I lost my father when I was 22, and you know, the first person I called was him, and you know, he stepped up. We buried my father in California, and he rented the vans for my family.
And Alex isn't the only former player Joe has helped. John Pena has been playing for Joe for over 2 decades, and Joe is now helping him start a fundraiser tournament for his daughter Jordan, who passed away from osteosarcoma, a rare form of bone cancer.
Going through it personally with my family, you know, it was tough coming up with funds. We had to scramble up money each and every way. So we want to kind of give back to a family in need to help out the way we got helped out.
If you ask Joe, that's what the Chicano Basketball League is all about. Sure, it's nice to win awards, but seeing people he's helped help other people out means more to him than any trophy ever could.
I hope and I pray that the people I do help another person like that's in need or that was like them.
The pay it forward spirit lives within Geneva Andrade, whose nephew Dominic Vega played for Joe and in 2016 was murdered just a block from his home. Geneva remembers her nephew for the caring and selfless person that he was.
My first husband passed away, and we were at the viewing. And I pushed my kids out. I said, no, you guys gotta go. Like, you guys are tired. We're gonna have a long day tomorrow. Dominic was the last one there, and I said, oh, you gotta go home. Like, you gotta get rest. said, no, Tio, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to leave you here by yourself. And, you know, Tio was always there for me. I'm not going to leave you.
With Joe's help, the Vega family started a scholarship in Dominic's name and have been able to help 8 individuals achieve their goals of pursuing higher education.
We know what that struggle is. So for us to be able to give back to the community was huge for us, because that meant that we were, you know, laying down, you know, sort of the legwork and the foundation for what we wanted Dominic's legacy to look like.
Legacy is everything. And for Joe, he wants the Chicano Basketball League's legacy to be about empowering those who look just like him.
Chicano Basketball League and Tierra del Sol are for the underdogs, for the guys and the girls and the people that, you know, don't look a certain way, don't act a certain way, don't have certain things, and they're able to build that confidence.
Going on 3 decades, Joe and the Chicano Basketball League have already helped hundreds of young Latinos find their purpose and will continue to do so with no end in sight. In Phoenix, Adrian Carbajal, Cronkite News.
The Chicano Basketball League organizes 3 big tournaments throughout the year, which draws players from all over the country and Mexico. And that does it for this special edition of the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Jacob Luthi. Thank you for joining us. And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.